defeated death, we still die. Why do we still die? Because, hey, we still in flesh. The Lord hasn't changed us yet. And this particular blessing is only for the Israelites. Other nations are not going to be immortal. Okay? It's not possible. Yeah, please, brother. This is 2nd Ezra 7:43. All right? It reads, but the day of doom shall be the end of this time. Right. So what is the day of doom? That's when Babylon the Great is hit with the nuclear destruction. That's the day of doom, but it's going to end. That's the end of the world, as it were. Right? The world being age. Yeah, jump in there whenever you're ready. Go ahead, bro. Yeah, that'll be the end of
good. It came up.
Scriptures talk about the end of the world, like you mentioned earlier. And Ecclesiastes 1:4 says the earth abideth forever. So the earth isn't going to be destroyed. But these temporary rulerships that all the heathen partake in is going to be done. Once the kingdom of heaven starts, it's the only kingdom where the sun is never going to set.
All right, so first and foremost, Ka, Halal, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rechakadash, Barakateh Yahweh, Barakateh Yahushai. Shalom.
Shalom.
To honor to LGMS Great Millstone. Shalom. Shalom to the elect of the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greetings. We call ourselves the hopeful elect because we don't know who the elect are in these times. Shalom. Put on therefore as the elect of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Colossians chapter 3 goes into that. And Psalm chapter 16 verse 9 speaks about my flesh shall also rest in hope. We are prisoners of hope, pursuant to the book of Zechariah. And we're turning to what? The ultimate stronghold. The name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and is safe. We're turning onto that stronghold, that ultimate strong tower. The name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. The righteous, the elect, run into it and is saved by faith. They believe. We believe by faith. We are the elect, but we don't know. That's why we know hopeful elect. So Isaiah 34, this will probably be a quick lesson. Go ahead, brother.
Isaiah 34:1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it.
Come on, brother. You can go into it. Say a few words on it.
Come near, ye near to hear and hearken, ye people, the nations, the heathen nations, the nations outside of Israel. Let the earth hear, all that is therein of the world, and all the things that come forth of it. What's going to come forth of it? Jacob's trouble is going to continue to intensify. We're waiting for the point where the MOTB, which is a micro C hit, to become global. What's going to come after that? We're going to have this nuclear jump off between these nations and the coming of Yahweh Shai.
Come on, brother. Come on, yeah. Yeah, even the Israelites going to hear about this as well.
Mm-hmm. Brother.
Yeah.
Hold that for me, brother. One moment.
Go right on ahead, brother. Take your time. So yeah, this destruction's coming. Come near, ye nations, all these heathen nations. Even two children of Israel are going to hear about this. But yeah, all ye heathen nations to hear and hearken, ye people. Hearken unto what? The word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. God. Let the earth hear and all that is therein. All these heathen nations, even those of our own people. The world and all things that come forth of it. Why? Because the day of the Lord, the day of Yahweh draweth nigh. Draweth nigh. The time when Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai will what? Begin to visit the world which he made in the day of Yahweh. Let me get this. The day of the Lord draweth nigh. It is cruel. It's a day of cruelty. And what does cruelty mean? Without pity. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 9. Behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger. Why? Because of the controversy of Zion. What has happened to the apple of the Most High Yahweh, his eye, which is who? His people, the Israelites. You so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Puerto Ricans, Native American Indians, North and South Americans, you Latinos, all you are part of who? The true children of Israel. You know, yeah, the Jamaicans and those people down there in those islands with Jamaica, Puerto Rico, to lay the land desolate and shall destroy the sinners out of it. What is the two main places of what? Judgment? The main place is where? America, Babylon the Great, Bozrah, as is referred to in the scriptures, which is the ancient capital of ancient. Bozrah was the ancient capital of ancient Edom. The modern day capital of modern Edom today is where? In America. And the land of Israel will be destroyed by what? By fire. So it can be what? It can be cleansed and purified before the true children of Israel get there. To lay the land desolate. America, Babylon the Great will be what? Laid desolate. It shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Verse 10, for the stars of heaven and the constellation thereof shall not give their light. Why? Because of the mushroom clouds. Plus Yahweh Shai is going to come back with what? All the holy angels. Then they can do what? Block out the sun. Yahweh Shai is going to be very massive. So that the stars and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. That's those what? That's those mushroom clouds. Let me get it. Mushroom cloud. No, that's likened unto what? You can liken unto what? Man, it's bad. When those mushroom clouds go up, it can cause what? A nuclear winter. Block out the sunlight. It's gonna be bad over here. You know, if you do the research, the science behind it, with nuclear war and all the nukes going off, it can cause what? The sky to turn red. That's bad. Yahweh Shai is going to make this day a cruel day, a fierce wrath, unrelenting cruelty on that day. The only ones that will be delivered out of it is the elect. Is that all for verse 1 you wanted, brother?
Yes.
You can go to verse 2 now.
Okay, Isaiah 34 and verse 2.
Okay.
For the indignation of the Lord Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter.
Okay. You can break it down, brother.
For the indignation of the Lord Yahweh. What is indignation? Righteous anger. For the righteous anger, the indignation of the Lord Yahweh is upon all nations, these nations. And his fury, brother, get that? Angry with the wicked every day.
Okay.
And his fury upon all their armies, their military might, their armies, their men of war. The scripture talks about wake up the mighty men, beat your plowshares into swords. He have utterly destroyed them.
Got it right here.
Read it for me, please.
This is Psalm chapter 7, verse 11. The power judgeth the righteous, and the power of God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, is angry with the wicked every day.
Angry with the wicked every day. So for the indignation, the righteous anger of the Lord Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury is upon all their armies. He have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter. The slaughter is, they are going to be destroyed. They're going to be brought off into the valley of Jehoshaphat, the Yahweh Shaphat, Yahweh's judgment. They're going to be destroyed with intercontinental ballistic missiles. They're going to have laser beams coming out of the chariots that's going to be shooting their laser beams down and destroying these armies. The book of Obadiah. Get that from Brother Obadiah.
Just try and quote it.
Though they build their nest amongst the stars, I will.
Yeah,
bring
I
them
got. Okay,
down.
I know what you're talking about. The one.
While you do that, I got something I can share right here.
This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh.
Built thy nest against. Exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, the space stations, their satellites that they pride themselves so much in that they want to launch and think that they're going to have some type of defense force against the chariots of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which they're not going to be able to do that. So I bring thee down, thence I will bring you down, saith the Lord Yahweh. So these are already letting us know, letting them know too, you are going to be destroyed. You are going down. No matter what you do, no matter what you try to raise up, you are still going to be destroyed. Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 14. The great day of the Lord Yahweh is near and coming quickly. Berean Standard Bible. Listen, the day of the Lord Yahweh. Then the cry of the mighty will be bitter. So Yahweh Shai is coming back in his chariot. He's not coming back as a man. He's not coming back to meet them as a man. He's coming back in his full power, celestial glory on his chariot, along with the angels in their chariot. Then the cry of the mighty will be bitter. That day will be a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of destruction and desolation, a lot of destruction, a lot of killing, a day of darkness and gloom, a day of clouds and blackness. What causes that? Intercontinental ballistic missiles, the mushroom cloud, a day of horn blasts and battle cry against the fortified cities and against the high corner towers. These cities, their military might, their fortresses is all going to come crashing down.
Okay.
You got a precept, brother?
Yeah. This is the book of, let's see. All right. This is the book of Job, chapter 18, verse 14. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. Who he so confident shall be rooted tabernacle. And any of the Edomites that be in that day, and any of these other heathen nations in their tabernacle, in their houses, their what? Their confidence is going to be rooted out. Even, the bunkers, they're going to be sprayed in their bunkers. And it shall bring him to the king of terrors. Who is the king of terrors? The king of terrors is the Most High Yahweh here. Who he sending back who? Yahweh Shai to what? To make the kingdoms of this earth the kingdoms of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai, as is written about in the book of Revelation. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 24. Then cometh the end. What's the end? The end of Esau's rulership, the end of Esau's world. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed, written about in 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 9. Then cometh the end, the day of doom, the day of the Lord Yahweh. When these missiles fly, World War III is going nuclear, and Yahweh shall come back with what? All the holy angels to take down this man out his power seat, to cast Lucifer out of heaven. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst speak in the nations, as is written about? Lucifer means what? Lucifer means light bearer, the light bearers of this world. The light of the wicked shall be what? Blotted out, as the scriptures speak about. The left-hand side, the evil has what? A light too, but it's just what? A dimmer light than the elect's light. Then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to Yahweh, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and authority, and all authority and power. When what? When he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. Yahweh Shai is going to what? Invasion earth. To what? Take these nations out their power seats, beginning with who on top? Who rules the world now? Esau, Edom, the tabernacles of Edom. Amalek as the head. The head is the elites of Esau, and the Rothschilds is what? Amalek. They are so-called Jewish people. They are what? They are small hats. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. And any other nations that may think they're what? Rising up to power now. Because, they got rumors about America's falling and the Chinese are going to take over next. Chinese is, the real name for the Chinese is the Moabites in the scriptures. But no, what does it say? All rule and all authority and all power. Verse 25. For he must reign till he have put all enemies under his feet. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. And the elect cannot what? Get those new bodies, those new perfected bodies, They're going to be like, hands, feet, eyes, the rest of it. But they're going to be what? Perfected, upgraded, them Kal-El bodies. Even better than Kal-El, technically speaking. We're going to have the powers of an angel and the rest of it and be able to contain all that. We're going to be like the Cube from Star Trek. Or the Beyonder from either DC or Marvel, reality warpers. Just bend this wall around you and reality folds, like that scene from The Matrix when Neo unlocked his powers like for the first time. Everything was bending around him. He jumped into the agent's body. We'll get all them kind of powers in the kingdom of heaven. But that can't happen till what? For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, until Yahweh brings his what? His indignation, his righteous anger on the day of the Lord, the day of Yahweh. The day of doom, to what? Destroy these nations and deliver them to the slaughter. To be what? To be destroyed. And they're going to be what? Put down with all authority and all power by Yahweh Shai, with all his power and authority and celestial might. He's coming back like what? With the voice of the archangel and with the trump of Yahweh. It's going to be marvelous. He's going to roar like a woman in travail, as the scriptures speak about. He's going to battle cry. King David was a man after the Most High Yahweh, his own heart. So King David was fierce. You go 2 Samuel 17 and 8, skip on down to verse 10 as well, 9 and 10. Israelites, they was like, well, no Israelite back then wanted to go to war against David and his mighty men. Even if they had the heart of a lion, the scripture says their mind is like that of a lion. They're violent in their mind, like a lion. That's how valiant they are in their mind. They did not want to go to war against King David. He must have been fierce. That wasn't no normal war out there. That was some superpower war, whatever he was doing. What the scriptures speak about that? King David had superhuman strength. With superhuman strength comes superhuman durability, superhuman speed, maketh my feet like hinds feet, leaped over a wall. He has super jump. He has all these other powers. And you go to, and Benaniah, the son of Jehoiada, in the time of snow, slew a lion in the pit in the time of snow. I might be butchering his name or have the wrong name. But he slew a lion in the time of pit in the time of snow, one of David's mighty men. Benaniah, the son of Jehoiada, has what? He has cold immunity, durability now, whatever you call it. He has cold durability. The cold is not affecting him at this time. He is fighting a lion. Well, that's strength. And with superhuman strength comes superhuman durability. And with super strength, comes super speed. His reflexes was enhanced, superhuman reflexes. Superhuman agility, same thing for David. He plucked the sheep out of the lion's mouth. Oh, that's superhuman dexterity, strength, speed, agility. Probably even flexible too. He's in the air doing some sort of split backflip thing, taking the lion out the mouth, rolling with it. And then he has to be what? He has to be very gentle and careful with that sheep. He can't just squish it. So he has good, precise control, motor control over his superpowers. You gotta go like this to the sheep, but you do it too hard, now you're gonna kill the sheep. You get married, say like Superman, everything feels like cardboard to him. King David had wives and everything. He had a son, but does that mean he was going around like this, like everything cardboard? Nah, he would have been able to give his wife a hug, the rest of it. Of course, he has super strength, he has the whole back, but you see the amount of precision the Most High gave him with it. He can't just like squish everything. Like in Dragon Ball Z, they show that to you. They're sitting around the table, everything gets crushed. Yahweh Shem Shai knew what he was doing with King David. Everything was down to the T. So when Yahweh Shai comes back, he's coming back like what? As a man of war, because the scriptures speak about Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. King David was a man after the Most High Yahweh, his heart, but King David was also what? A fearsome battle man. He was also a man of war. And Yahweh Shai spake about, I and my father are one and the same accord, not one and the same entity. So Yahweh Shai is a man of war himself. And Yahweh Shai is coming back on the name of his father, Yahweh. And the father Yahweh is known as who? The king of terrors, Al-Shaddai. It's going to be a fierce destruction, a day of cruelty. 2/3 here in America will be what? Tormented by that flame. That's what the scriptures speak about, weeping and gnashing of teeth. If you're weeping and gnashing of teeth, you have to be what? Alive. You can't just have a quick death. That's what that means about Zechariah 14 and 12. They're going to have fire inside their eye sockets, inside their mouth, and their flesh is going to be burnt, melted away. It's going to be like bones running. Like that scene from The Terminator. If the bones be able to run, might just collapse. The rest of it. And you can go ahead, brother.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 30 and verse 3. This is New Living Translation. For the terrible day is almost here. So the brother and I have been talking about the day of the Lord. The day of the Lord Yahweh. It is a day of clouds and gloom, a day of despair for the nations. Game over. That's game over for the nations. That's game over for Esau. His rulership is going to be completely decimated, destroyed. All these other nations are going to be brought down to their knees. And Jacob, starting with the elect, are going to go back into the kingdom. And those that were not the elect of the house of Israel will come back as the children. And Jacob will be in rulership from that point after. And all the other nations are going to be subservient and servants and bondmen and bondwomen to the children of Israel.
Okay. This is 2 Ezra 7 and 43, chapter 7, verse 43. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time. This time. Whose time? The day of doom is the day of Yahweh. Shall be the end of what? Better is the end of the thing than the beginning of it, as the scriptures speak about. The end of Esau's time, the end of Esau's age is rulership. The end of these heathen nations ruling the world. After the death of King Solomon, we started what? Going into captivity. And these heathen nations started ruling over the true children of Israel. They started to control what? The known world, and then they controlled what? The entire world, as in today. The wicked beareth rule. The wicked are ruling the world now. So that's going to be the end of this time, the end of a wicked rulership, the end of these heathen nations. The Most High Yahweh by Shem Yahushai will set us up over it one that is profitable, as it is written about. And who is profitable? The Israelites, beginning with the elect. And the top elect Israelite is Yahushai. But this cannot all come until what? The righteous anger, the indignation of Yahweh comes upon the world in the day of Yahweh. And the beginning of the immortality for to come, the last enemy that shall be destroyed is death, wherein corruption is past. And it's beginning with who? The Israelites, but beginning with amongst the Israelites, the elect. Yahushai obtained it first. He obtained that immortality first. And then the rest of the Israelites, beginning with the elect, Yahushai, underneath Yahushai, King David, 12 apostles, Apostle Peter's, Apostle Peter's King David, the reincarnation. Underneath Apostle Peter, 12 apostles, you're going to have the 144,000, which make up the governing body of the house of Israel. And then the rest of the elect, men, women, and children. And then through them, the rest of the 2/3 will come back. But the beginning of immortality is going to begin with who? The aristocrats, the aristocracy, the elites of the the righteous new world order, the kingdom of Israel, the kingdom of Yahushai, the kingdom of David, the kingdom of David, the kingdom of heaven coming upon earth. You got something, brother?
Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 15. The day is near when I, the Lord Yahweh, will judge all godless nations. As you have done to Israel, so it will be done to you. All your evil deeds will fall back on your own heads. The day is near when I, the Lord Yahweh, will judge all godless nations. That day is coming. As you have done to Israel, to those same godless nations, as you have done to Israel, so it will be done to you. All your evil deeds will fall back on your own heads. So at that time, when this is going on, these other nations are going to receive a recompense. What was done, or what they done to us, is going to be done unto them. And every evil deed, all their evil deeds are going to fall back on them.
And that also goes in Revelation 13, chapter 9. In Revelation chapter 13, verses 9 and 10. He that leadeth in the captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. He that leads from slavery shall go into slavery. They're going to take part in all that. But also, because they killed us, they're going to have to get killed. And the rest of it, they're going to have to build. We built for them, like God built for us, and the rest of it. But also, in that day, it's going to be a righteous recompense to these other nations as well. When they are taking out the policy. America, Israel is going to be totally destroyed by fire. Other places will be hit by fire. It's going to speak about, I will send fire upon Magog. China's going to be taken down, the rest of these nations. The whole world ain't going to just be on fire all at once. Because if that's the case, how are we going to have slaves? They'll burn up and die. So the whole world can't be on fire. But the indignation of Yahweh is coming upon all the world, Yahushua is going to take over everything. It's going to be with fierce. It's going to be by way of war, the righteous indignation of Yahweh. But to be specific, will all the world be on fire at that time? Will it be destroyed? No. Scriptures speak about the earth abided forever. Just for edification's sake. Revelation chapter 18, verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you. Who? Babylon the Great, America. Spiritually called Sodom in Egypt in Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. And double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which you have filled to her double. So this America is going to have to get double for everything it did to the true children of Israel, the Middle Passage, the transatlantic slave trade, the Native American Indians of North and South America, slavery. It's going to be a bad judgment. That's why the scriptures speak about 1,000 times more. And even the kingdom of heaven, they got to get that double. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 22. Wherefore, whereas thou dost chasten us, chasten who? True children of Israel. Most High chastened them, Still, even to this day, the Most High chastening us, true children of Israel. Thou scourgest our enemies 1,000 times more. So you think of Emmett Till, slavery. You Edomites in the kingdom of heaven is going to get 1,000 times more. So those men that did that to Emmett Till, they're going to get 1,000 times more. Even that woman, 1,000 times more.
That lying Edomite woman.
She admitted in her, before she died, later years, that she did lie. To the intent that when we judge, we should think carefully of thy goodness. We're going through now in captivity. As to what? To the intent that when we judge, we should think carefully of thy goodness. And when we ourselves are judged, we should look for mercy. So you think of the goodness, the mercy of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai when you judge, being an Israelite. Think of the Most High's goodness. Why? Because we got what? Chasing. And when we ourselves are judged, when Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai judges us, put us whatever we go through, we should look for mercy from Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. But to these other nations, he shall speak to them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai doth not speak to these nations, in his mercy. He speaks unto them in his wrath, and they have no mercy from that. You want to be an Israelite, and if you're not an Israelite, you don't want to be an Edomite. And suicide can't help you, because scriptures speak about all they that be in the grave shall hear his voice. We believe through the Spirit the dead, they're going to get back up in that day, at that last resurrection. Some the everlasting life, some the everlasting shame and contempt, that damnation. You Israelites, you 2/3, you're gonna have your head down the kingdom of heaven with that shame and contempt written about in Ezekiel. Because we're all gonna remember our sins, even the elect, But you 2/3, you rejected Yahweh Shai on this side, so it's gonna be worse for you. Man, don't be an Edomite. And if you are, well, I cannot help you.
Nope.
No one could help you. Suicide will not get you out of it, because you will be raised back from the dead. And plus, you're going to be in the kingdom of heaven as a slave. And the brothers will have the power of life and death. So if they take you out horrifically, you can get brought back to life, just to go back to work. Daniel chapter 12, verses 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Everlasting life, the elect, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. You 2/3, you're going to have your head down the kingdom of heaven. You're going to remember your deeds and clothe yourself in your own sight, as is written in Ezekiel. Go ahead, brother.
As the brother was just bringing out with his scriptures, there's one more. Back this up. Isaiah 34 and verse 8. For the Lord Yahweh has a day of vengeance. So you talk about a year of recompense for the cause of Zion. Zion is another word to identify the apple of his eye, the Israelites.
No, it's symbolic. You're right, brother. It's another word too.
A year of recompense for the cause of Zion. A year of recompense for the cause of Zion. As the brother was just talking about in his past precepts he was bringing out.
What was that, Salakia?
Isaiah 34 and 8. It's right here.
Yeah. For a recompense for the cause. That's that controversy of Zion. What happened to the apple of Yahweh's eye upon the earth, everywhere. But mostly we're in America, Babylon the Great, which is, no, you think about it, it's like, that's the worst captivity. That's the worst place of captivity. The UN even said, what? It's the gravest crime against humanity, that Middle Passage. So it's basically saying, what has happened in the entire world to every other nation, what happened with the Middle Passage is the worst thing that ever happened to humanity. That backs up the scriptures. That's the controversy of Zion. What has been done under the whole heaven? Because what happened to the true children of Israel is worse than what happened to any other nation. Native American Indians in North and South America, Middle Passage. Daniel chapter 9, verse 12. And he hath confirmed his word which he spake against us and against our judges that has judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. What is evil? Bad times. Not just any bad times, of severe bad times. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem. Jerusalem is what? A people before its a place as well. So the UN confirmed Bible prophecy. They came together and confirmed that. That's why the indignation of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is upon all these nations. Why? Because they all played a part in our captivity. That's Isaiah 34, verses 1 and 2. They all played a role in our slavery. But in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to get them new bodies. I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, as it is written about from the Most High, speaking about that in the book of Ezekiel. You are going to be what? Scourgeth our enemies 1,000 times more. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 22. You are going to be scourged 1,000 times more. I know Apostle Hall speak about, I'm going to come down like Pinhead. That's bad. If you ever seen the movie Hellraiser. And if you never seen it before, you don't know about it, viewer discretion is highly advised. As speaking is a horror movie and it contains lots of blood and gore.
And the brother's referring to the original movies, not the remake. You can the remake, but the original movies.
I personally have never seen any of the movies entirety. I just seen clips. We have such sights to show you. Pain. How dare you use that word? What you think of as pain is only a shadow of it. Allow me to show it to you, gentlemen. I am pain. Those some of Pinhead's quotes. Your suffering will be legendary, even in hell. But if you deceive us, we'll tear your soul apart. You know some of the lines from the movie. And yeah, these Edomites, even though their souls won't be torn apart, because, you don't tear apart the soul, it's the body you tear apart. That's bad. That's still bad, though. Because even in that Hellraiser movie, they don't tear apart the souls. They have bodies when they torment these people. So it's going to be the same thing to these Edomites. They won't tear apart their literal souls, but it's likened unto what? Figuratively tearing apart their souls. Ooh, that's bad. What happened to Emmett Till is just the tip of the iceberg. It's going to be worse for you Edomites in the kingdom of heaven. You got that one man, they were setting them afire, bringing them up and down, up and down. That's that. Call that the worst lynching in history. Worst lynching in history. Let's see what that man's name is. They call him... Slaki, bear with me 1 minute. This is part of why the indignation of Yahweh. Oh man, I can't find it. Worst lynching in USA. This is all I get in the 1891 lynching of a... No, not that one. Black man. Let me say that. Black man. This is the controversy of Zion. No, I can't find it. Jesse Washington. Known as Wacko Horror. He was tortured for 2 hours and burned alive in front of a crowd of approximately 15,000 people.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you eat him. Oh, Henry Smith, 1893, was tortured with hot irons for nearly an hour before being burned at the stake in front of roughly 10,000 people. Yeah, and you Edomites, GYN. What's that stand for, again, brother? GYN? Just something to do with gynecology, something like that. Well, for you Israelite women out there, how did they invent that? By tests on the
the GI. Those are those doctors for the female body parts, the OBGYN. I know what you're talking about.
That was invented by tests on the so-called black woman without anesthesia, by the way. You Edomites, you're gonna get it. They even got Emmett Till, James Byrd Jr. Oh my goodness. And the stuff you've done in secret and the stuff that's known about. Supposedly there was something about, the white woman used to have sex with the black man while he was being mutilated alive, amputated. Some mess like that. I remember hearing about that. I remember hearing about also, whenever they came on the slave ships, they would get RAPED, whoever got on, man or woman, which includes child. Something in South America, that man, he made it his duty to RAPE, whoever was going to his sector, men and women and children. Buck breaking, the rest of it. Medieval torture. You gotta go back to the medieval days, the medieval torture methods. You got someone called, they call her the Blood Countess.
Oh, yeah.
Her torture methods is just bad on the women. hot iron rods and in the hole. It's bad. What's that? Impalation. They impale somebody on a stake while they're still alive. They call him Vlad the Impaler. You Edomites, you're going to get it bad in the kingdom of heaven, but it's all going to be done in what? For edification's sake, before we end it, it's going to be done in righteousness. The Israelite men are not going to buck break the Edomite men in the kingdom. They're not going to take their wives. It's all going to be done in righteousness. According to the laws, the statutes, and commandments. But it's going to be severe. And burning alive, man. I remember Elder Pastor Hall, he was in that lesson, that indoor sit-down thing. He was talking about burning alive. I butchered his words a bit, but gonna have them in the air, burn alive for an hour straight, and then bring him down and say, "Are you ready to serve now?" He's gonna be like, "Yes, master." So burning alive is what? Not off the table. Yahweh Shah's coming to burn people alive, which means in the kingdom of heaven, you Edomites can get what? Burnt alive. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 18. You're going to be burnt off the face of the earth. The law speaks about burning people alive in certain instances. So, yeah, it's bad. It's bad, John. It's bad. King David was a feared man in the ancient world. Man. Is that everything, brother, you want to bring out?
That's everything.
All right, that was Isaiah chapter 34, verses 1 and 2. Quick lesson. On that note, shalom.
Ka halal Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Echad Kodash Barak Yahweh Barak Yahushai.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Double honor to the elders, GMS, great minister. Shalom. Hopefully it's edifying.